are called, but only if you get into heaven or get chosen by God or get chosen by source, however you believe. No, it's not true at all. There's a deeper meaning to this. Okay, so if you're reading things like the Bible, good morning, Sarah, like a storybook, and you're all involved in the story, okay, because stories are, they play on our emotions, right? So we get emotional about it. We start looking at the story, then you miss the whole thing. Okay, so today we're going to break it down because even those of you who, let's say, you don't read the Bible or you don't necessarily believe in its principles, I'm going to show you how the Bible is your friend. Okay, so there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible. There's a lot of knowledge in the Bible, but you need to see it. Okay, and you need to see it for what it is, not for the story. Okay, so anyway, it's we're talking about Matthew 22. Okay, and it's the parable of the wedding feast, and he talks about a wedding. Um, but the call is the call inside of you, the call that they're talking about. So the call represents divine invitation. Okay, what is the call? You hear people say, well, he found his calling, she found her calling. Okay, so this happens. Good morning. Thank you guys. Good morning, Jay. This happens when you receive that nudge inside. Okay, and this happens at different ages. So it's not an age related thing. Okay, it's about when you're ready for things. Okay, there's an old proverb that says, when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. Okay, Buddha said that. Gautama Buddha said that. So uh, when you get that nudge inside, when you get that calling, that inner calling. Yesterday I was talking about it with one of my clients. Okay, and she wants to know, how do you tell the difference between intuitive thought and the thoughts you're thinking? Okay, so the intuitive thoughts that you get are probably more related to things you should do, things you should choose, things you should pay attention to. Okay, but often you hear this in your voice, okay, in your own voice, and this is why people have a problem differentiating between their thoughts and intuitive thought, and this is where the meditation comes in. Okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. The meditation comes in because you practice stillness. And when you practice stillness, the voice of intuition increases. Okay? Because speaking to God is not enough. You need to listen. So prayer is speaking to God, meditation is listening to God, or listening to source, or listening to divine guidance. Okay? So everyone hears it in some way. Okay? People are led to things in different ways. Now, if you are at the stage of awareness where you can see synchronicities, okay, because it takes a little bit, okay, but if you can see synchronicities, what happens is you start to see the direction that you are being directed to or inspired to, okay, or let's say the intuitive process or the intuitive guidance that goes, okay, you should go here, you should do this, you should do that. This is popping up. Okay. When things pop up and the same thing pops up over and over, okay, that's a good sign. And I'm not saying sign as in, oh, it's a sign from God. It's just it's guidance. Okay, and it is a sign of sorts. Okay, but the real I want to say thing you should pay attention to is intuitive thought, not what you see, what you feel inside in the kingdom, in here. Okay, so when you read the scripture and stuff like that, there's a bunch of stuff in there. We don't have to go in like into everything, but it's important to understand that these things, okay, the choosing, okay, the choosing is an internal process. It's not an external process. Okay, so everything that the Bible is talking about, or most sacred books are talking about, okay, the Torah, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, they're talking about the internal world. They're not talking about the external world. Okay, so the chosen are not selected by favoritism. Those are not people that are favored by religion or favored by God. It's not about that. Okay, it's about those who respond correctly to the call. So the question becomes, are you responding correctly to what you're being called to do in life? Your purpose. Okay, so find your purpose. Your purpose is very important because we're all here with our own gifts. We're all here with something unique to contribute. We're all here for a certain reason. So there's a reason why you're here today. There's a reason why you're watching this today. Okay, there's a reason why I'm interacting with you. Okay, well, over here on the chat. Okay, so love you have to feel. Yeah, so and it goes deeper than that, but that's one way to say it. Yeah, exactly. So the choosing is internal, it's not external. It's not out here. Okay, Jesus said the kingdom is within for a reason. Okay, so knowledge is not the same as embodiment. Okay, knowledge, and like we said, right, we always say that knowledge is nothing. It's not power. It's just substance. It's information. It doesn't do anything until you apply it. Okay, the application of knowledge is power. Okay, knowledge is not the same as in embodiment. Many people hear the truth. Okay, and the truth is there. The truth is all over. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Rosanna. Thank you. Okay, zero limits. Yeah, ho'oponopono. Very, very good. Nice, Sarah. I'm glad you got that. Good morning, Rosanna. Thank you, thank you. So knowledge is not the same as embodiment, okay? You can know something, you can know how to do it, you can know that you need to do, that if you do affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization aimed at one thing, it has to happen. It's guaranteed to happen. Okay, you can know that. That's knowledge. But if you don't do it, then there is no power there because it doesn't enable you to do anything. Just simply knowing something, okay, does not bring anything into fruition. Okay? So many hear the truth, but few live it. Okay? And this is why I tell you about wealth, right? And there's a way to go about it. And there's actually two ways you can do it. Okay? So one is the physical world way, right? And one is the spiritual way. And in the physical world, you go by physical processes. In the spiritual world, you go by spiritual processes. So in the physical world, how do you do it? Well, you save up all your money, okay, and you live, for lack of a better term, frugal, okay? You live in scarcity, you live in lack, okay? You deny yourself things, you sacrifice, okay? Sacrifice breeds resentment. You don't have to sacrifice if you believe in the spiritual, okay? But in the physical world, you are subject to physical laws of the physical world. In the spiritual world, you're subject to spiritual laws in the spiritual world. Okay? So in the physical world, you go according to what they say. Oh, put all your money in the bank. Put your money in the stock market. Put your money here. Put your money there. And build up your bank account. And that represents security, right? Wrong. It's the physical world. It's the distraction. It's the illusion that Gautama Buddha was talking about. It's the illusion. Okay? The man who sees life as an illusion escapes suffering, Gautama Buddha. What does that mean? Well, if you put your faith in that, in the physical world, you live by the physical world, right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's another way of saying it. You live with your faith here and your trust here, and this is where you die, or this is where you live. So what about the spiritual side? Well, the spiritual side is different, okay? When you know, when you have an understanding, when you stand under spiritual principles. And what is that? Ask, believe, receive. Ask, believe, receive. For you Christians, it's in Mark 11:24. You read it. It's there. When you ask and you believe in your asking what you're asking for, you'll receive it. It works, okay? But here's the thing, it's subconscious. It works through your subconscious. The three states of awareness within you, in the kingdom, within, is the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. The superconscious represents the divine or God. Okay, however you believe, I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. But that, the divinity part of it, whatever you choose. If you don't choose, then your world is only the conscious and subconscious. And then the subconscious is the explanation for the superconscious. So whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way you're a believer. Okay? And there's a difference between believing and knowing. So when you know, okay, or have knowledge of the internal system, the system within the kingdom, and how it works. Okay? And this is why, when Jesus talked about having the faith of a mustard seed, you can tell the mountain to move and the mountain will move. It's not talking about a physical mountain. But it's talking about the power that all of you have in here. You have it. I have it. Okay? God lives in here. God lives in you. God is not out there. There's no out there. There's just nature and things from other people's in here, out there. That's all that's out there. So when you embody the knowledge, when you live with the knowledge, okay, doubt and fear, right, work against the knowledge. But when you have the knowledge, ask, believe, receive, and no fear, no doubt, no. But the illusion is what pulls you into doubt. The illusion is what pulls you into, I don't know if I can do this. Why? Because it shows you things. It scares you. Okay? And that's why Jesus says in the Bible, he says, "Oh, ye of little faith." He's like, shame on you. I thought you believe. I know so many fellow Christians that they have no faith in themselves. And this is where their partner lives, and their partner is called God in their world. Jesus lives in here. Christ consciousness lives in here. Awareness lives in here. Allah lives in here. However you want to reference that, whatever you believe. But we all share awareness. This is what makes everyone one. The universal law of oneness. So in that universal law of oneness, we're all connected. So this is why you have these synchronicities. This is why you have these coincidences, right? You want to work at XYZ company, you start writing your affirmation. I am so happy and grateful now that I work at XYZ company, thank you. Then what happens? Well, after a couple of weeks, it starts to sink in your subconscious. Your subconscious starts looking for avenues. Oh, maybe you can do this, maybe you can do that, maybe you could do whatever, do this, fill out it, whatever. And then in the process, you're at the gym one day and you meet this guy and you start talking to this guy, and all of a sudden he goes, yeah, you go, what do you do for a living? He goes, I work at XYZ company. The light bulb goes on. Oh, do you have any openings? Yeah, we have a lot of openings. Come down and fill out an application. And in a couple of weeks, you're working for XYZ company. Coincidence? Well, if you believe in the physical world, if you put your faith, your trust, your understanding in the physical, which is made from other people's in here, okay? Processes, the systems of things, okay? These are human inventions. We're talking about man-made versus God-made. Now, if you put your faith in that, Sure, it's a coincidence. Sure, it's unexplainable. If you have your faith in God, or let's say higher power, higher self, infinite intelligence, what have you, then you have to understand that we're all connected and that all you did was take the steps. And as you take the steps, God opens the doors, brings the right people, and boom, you get what you want. When I understood this, it was almost like magic. I just showed Jay this morning an affirmation. I sent her a video of an affirmation that I wrote. And this morning, like, okay, it's there. It's already there. In fact, it's a little better than the affirmation that I wrote. So a lot of people ask me, like, okay, well, how come I write this and it doesn't happen? You have to condition your subconscious. Okay, it's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym to work out. Okay, you have to condition your subconscious. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the one I'm working on, but this is one of them. I have about 12 of these in storage since 2007. Okay, those are affirmations now. That's subconscious conditioning. That's subconscious direction. That's telling your subconscious what to do. It's designing your life. Most people, the majority of human beings, don't do that. There's a small percentage of human beings that do. They're normally CEOs, government officials, people that understand the value, people that understand the process. The subconscious will assist you in the way that the subconscious will wash, rinse, repeat things. Okay. Once you get the belief in the subconscious, it's automatic. It's a habit. Is it hard to create good habits? We've been conditioned, okay, by all kinds of things, by movies, by TV shows, by whatever, media, that it's difficult to form good habits. No, it's not. It's just as easy to form a good habit as it is a bad habit. It starts with routine, repetition. Okay, in less than 15 minutes a day, you can change your life. I changed the life of tons of people, over 7,000 people in the last 37 years. So if you look at something as difficult, oh, it's a chore. I have to write one sentence. Oh man, how long does that take? It doesn't take me very long at all. Less than a minute. Meditation takes 10 minutes. I normally do a half hour. Visualization. It's a process. And you have to use your imagination. You have to see yourself worthy and see yourself there. We've been conditioned to see ourselves as small, as insignificant. You know, for example, in government, we've been, it's been projected onto us that we work for the politicians, when in actuality, they work for us. You see, so society teaches us things backwards and upside down. Okay. In other words, the perception is flipped. Instead of the glass half full, glass half empty. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you see something that initially looks negative, if you have some patience and you don't react and judge, okay? If you don't rush to judgment. Humans rush to judgment because we have negativity bias. We're born with it. We're engineered with it. It's evolutionary. Okay, it's for evolutionary purposes. We need to identify threats. But when you live in survival mode, when you're living in survival mode, you're living in fear. When you live in fear, you're being driven by fear. What happens to manifestation? It stays out here. When you push, 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 push. Most people, when they push, they're pushing because they're being driven by fear. High performance anxiety looks identical to motivation. And all you have to do is talk to the person for 2 or 3 minutes. And you'll find out, oh yeah, they're running from something. It's very easy to see when a human being is running from something. Okay. I coach executives. One of my top, this lady was like tops in her field. One of my clients last year. She was one of the top attorneys in this firm, in this company. And she told me, she said, like I've been operating my career. Fear has been my motivation because I don't want to be poor. If you're focused on something that you don't want, you're going to start getting more things you don't want. It's subconscious. It's not God going, okay, we're going to toy with you. We're going to give you more bad stuff. No, God doesn't do that. God only operates off of what's in your subconscious, off of what you believe. And God will assist that because God is love. God will give you what you believe. Because what you believe is what comes out in your life. So the roots of the tree, okay? Subconscious tree, the roots are your core beliefs, which form the trunk of the tree, your paradigm, which form the fruits of the tree, your actions based upon what it is you believe. And God says, okay, well, you believe this? Okay, well, we'll make this happen for you. You believe this? We'll make that happen for you. You believe in overthinking? Okay, we'll give you more overthinking. God does not judge. I'm sorry, if you've been reading a book that tells you God is judging, that's not God. God does not judge. We judge. We judge through our actions, which is related to the way we see the world, the trunk of the tree, which is related to what we believe in the roots. Got to change the roots. How do you do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay. So a lot of people are being taught affirmations wrong. Okay, first of all, there's a lot of negative words that I see in affirmations that are in images online, on Google. Whenever you have a negative word in a sentence, just to let you know how the human brain works, okay, it is not observed. So I will not smoke anymore becomes I will smoke anymore. And what happens? Not quitting smoking. Instead, it feels good to breathe clean air. Thank you. There you go. Now you're directing your subconscious towards gratitude of breathing clean air. Well, what happens then? Well, then you don't feel like the smoking air. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't taste good. But you're in this societal hypnosis, right? To you, it's good because you're accustomed to it. I used to smoke, yeah. I used to enjoy smoking. Then I had to make a decision. Well, you're gonna sing, you're gonna smoke. You're gonna speak, you're gonna teach, you're gonna smoke. Which one? And sometimes you have to make a choice. Chosen means aligned. Okay, many are called, few are chosen. Chosen means alignment, spiritual alignment, insight, inner alignment. It doesn't mean superior. It doesn't mean, oh, God picks these guys over here and they're favored and then all the rest are throwaway. And for you spiritual people that are not religious, just know that only 29% of the world is Christian. 29%. If that's the only amount that goes to heaven, then the creator really made a mistake, right? Because that's not a good average. It doesn't work like that. The stories work like that. The esoteric meanings behind the stories don't work like that. When you're chosen, you are in alignment with the way you were born. In your positive love energy before life happened, before things happen. Okay. When you get that nudge, the calling, right? Many are called, okay? When you get that nudge, like, okay, I should be doing this. Or you look at something, you go, wow, that's really cool. I'd like to do that. And then you start doing it and you find out, wow, I have a knack for doing it. Wow, I do this really good. Wow, this is natural for me. Okay. You are being called. When things pop in your mind over and over and the same thing, over and over and over, that's your intuitive calling. Now, when you become in alignment with the calling, when you acknowledge the calling, when you become in alignment with the calling, now your natural gifts begin to unfold. Your life purpose. A lot of people don't know what the purpose is. Okay, why is that? Distraction. Because your eyes look away from the kingdom. The kingdom is in here, but you're looking out there. And your reality becomes the car, the job, the weekend sports, the, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is. But that will become your reality in your subconscious. And the subconscious, right, repeats. Oh, now I'm obsessed. I am playing Candy Crush all day long. I'm obsessed with this game. I'm obsessed with this team. That's my team. I root for those teams. I go online and battle other people from other teams and, okay, all of that, okay? It's very real for some people because it's their thing, okay? But you are given this life that you're going to live this way one time. One time. This is physical. These are physical things. These will get old. I won't be able to use these one day. Okay? They'll be too old. They'll be too aged. Okay? But this in here doesn't age. You want to call this spirit, you want to call this energy, that's eternal. That's eternal. But this happens one time. You live this way one time. If you begin to find the alignment in here, within the kingdom, which is what many people are exposed to, and they see the truth, they hear the truth, but it doesn't connect because of the physical world, because of the physical reality that people see. And they go, oh, well, yeah, okay, the church is good. Yeah, this is good. The Bible's good. Okay, but I'm doing this. And the interest goes over there. Is that wrong? It's not wrong. It's how do you want to spend your life? That's the question. I'm not here to suggest you spend your life in the Bible. I'm not here saying you need to, spend your life in church. Okay, I don't even go to church. Don't get me started on 501c3 churches. I've seen enough truth behind the business of religion. The religious industrial complex is real. It's a thing. Just like the medical industrial complex is real. Just like the military industrial complex is real. These are systems of things. The systems of things are not inherently evil, but they are what they are. And human beings make choices. So there's the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain. And on the left is ego. On the left is logic. The left is anchored into the physical reality. The right belongs to God. That's where you have imagination, creativity, intuition. That's where God lives, on the right. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father for a reason. And it's all being explained to you, and it's hidden in plain sight. And people don't get it. Right? They don't get it because they never look deeper than the surface. But when you look deeper than the surface, the superficial, the exoteric that they feed the masses, then you go, oh, okay. But we become bound through subconscious patterns, patterns formed in the subconscious, into bad relationships, into bad workplace environments, but I'll just take it because, well, it's better than not having a job, into all kinds of things. And you become a prisoner. The prison is here. All I do is unlock prisons every week. The spiritual has control over the physical all day long. The spiritual circumvents the physical. It goes around them. Circumvent. It goes around. Sometimes it goes through. Sometimes it goes above. And sometimes it goes below. It transcends physical reality. Why? Because God, higher self, infinite intelligence, is your co-creator. And when you acknowledge, you join. When you acknowledge something, you join with it. Energetically, you're joining with it. Oh, I love those cookies. There you go. Join. In repetition, it goes into your subconscious, then your subconscious is wash, rinse, repeat. So when you are in vibrational alignment with something, it shows up in your world. If you're really good at observation, being the observer, which means you have disconnected from the matrix. Now you can observe without engaging. Then you can notice, what's new in my world? What's new in front of, this is new. My vibration has raised. Why? Because it's better than the other stuff that you had. And a lot of people can't see it. And it starts to happen. It starts to grow. It's the better job. It's the better neighborhood. It's the better friend circle. Right? Better job, new friends. Friend circle starts to change. Sure, we have our old friends, always. And we love them. But an increase in vibration brings new things, brings better things. Everything is vibration. God spoke the world into existence. Esoterically, that means you can too. But you have to speak it. You have to write it. You have to think it. And then it will be. Thoughts become things. Is it magic? No, it's your subconscious. And your connection to every living thing. So the tree gives off oxygen. You breathe the oxygen. Therefore, you are one with the tree. You see? Yeah, that's a little deep, I know. Follow me. But when you have alignment, that means when you have agreement, when you are aligned, when you have agreement, when you have synergy, when you have understanding that says, this is the path, this is the thing, this is the, There are infinite possibilities. There's not just one possibility. It's what you choose. The problem is we get distracted. So like, okay, what do I want? That's a big question for some people. What do I want? When I had to write down, when I took my training, I took my training from Mike Dooley, and I had to write down what I wanted. And it took me a long time to write down what I want. I'm like, what do I want? Well, yeah, I want a nice car, but what kind of car? Well, okay, what color car? It's a big list. It's an involved list. You need to be specific. So what do? Well, we go from this car, then we get this one, and go, no, I think I want one like that. Then we get that one, then we get, like that. And then you start to choose. You start to filter out what you don't want because you experience these things. But very few people think about it ahead of time. What do I want? Well, let's define it. What does it look like? Okay, that's visualization. What does it look like? Oh, well, we did this experiment on the radio years ago where we had 3 guys. Okay, I was one, and there was one other guy in the studio and one in the audience that called in on the radio live, writing down details of the girl that they wanted to meet. All 3 of us met that girl. You write down, okay, long black hair, brown eyes, whatever, details. They all showed up. Magic? No. Subconscious, superconscious. This is why the ask, believe, receive involves believing. When your subconscious believes something, and all that takes is repetition. It's not rocket science. And why is this not taught in schools? A lot of things are not taught in schools because they want you to be inducted into the physical world because the physical world exists. It makes sense. It makes sense. But you need the other half. You need the missing component because everything is mental, spiritual, physical. Okay, physical, mental, how you think about it. Spiritual, in here. Some people just go through life thinking they're just a meat suit. They're insignificant. They don't mean much. And they just take whatever. And they just go whatever. No direction. Just, okay, go here, go there. Okay, go here, go there. And maybe for some of them that's good. But if you want to change things, if you want to say, okay, I want this kind of life. I want this kind of car. I want this kind of thing. I want that kind of spouse. I want this kind of, okay, those things. You have power over that because you're a co-creator with God. It's written in all holy books. But the secret is in here, or it's not out there. It's not up there. The stories have esoteric meanings, inner meanings, insight. So if you're not vibrating in harmony with what you want, you're not going to get it. What does that mean? Well, when you're in a happy mood, you're in a good mood, good things happen. You're in a bad mood, right? Things go away. Do you ever walk into a Starbucks or something and you see somebody real angry in the corner? Are you going to talk to them? Of course not. Somebody's happy, right? Somebody's talkative, friendly, smiling. Are you going to engage with them? Maybe, yeah. So we talk about the universal law of rhythm sometimes, and you have to notice your rhythm. Okay, money happens in rhythm, love happens in rhythm. Okay, there's a part of the month where your wife isn't into it, right? Rhythm. When you observe the rhythm of things, the natural rhythm of things, then you start to understand, oh, okay, there's a time for planting, there's a time for harvest, there's a time for, you see? There's a time that money comes in, there's a time that money goes out. When money goes out, that's a time to start to improve your mood, not the opposite. Money goes out, people get mad, people get depressed, people fight, right? No, that's when you be happy. Because then the time it takes for the money to come back is shorter. Why? Because God responds to your mood. God responds to your feelings. God doesn't hear your words. God feels your subconscious, your beliefs. What are your beliefs? Well, if you believe positively, right? The tree, your actions up here, the fruits, you will know them by their fruits. Okay, which is another way of saying you will know them by their actions, their intentions behind the actions. When it says God knows your heart, it's talking about your subconscious. God knows as you believe. Your beliefs affect your intentions. So if you believe a certain way, you're going to intend a certain way, those actions will come out a certain way, and you will get a certain result. You want to change the result? Change the intention. Change the belief. Human beings are just like computers. Okay, so your conscious mind is your operating system. The subconscious is your hard drive where the programs, literal programs, are stored. Literally. Superconscious, it's the network that we're all plugged into. Infinite intelligence is very easily accessed through meditation. And you don't have to chant these words that you don't understand. Just be quiet, just silence, just be quiet, be still and know. Not be still and believe, okay? Be still and know. So the people who are professing to know, okay, usually have no idea. Because they're believing. They believe this. They believe that. They believe the other thing. But this will only make it so in their world, not your world, unless you believe it too. Unless you join in the belief. So when the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious work together in alignment, together in synergy, okay, together as one. When you read the passage, if two or more come together in my name, it shall be done. What is it talking about? It's talking about the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. In alignment, organized. Because you cannot have the conscious mind go, okay, I want to do that, and the subconscious go, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. You can't have the conscious mind go, oh, I want a new car, and your subconscious goes, nah, you know you can't afford that. But when there's alignment, the subconscious makes it happen. Your subconscious is your book of life. Everything is in your subconscious. Everything you said, everything you did. You're not even a part of consciousness till you're 7 years old. After that, it starts accumulating everything. It takes notes of everything. Remember back when you're 7. Somebody can probably remember 3 if they really try hard. Okay, I can remember 4. But neuroplasticity tells us that if you're not using your neurons, they start to go dormant. Okay, they don't go away, they just kind of shut down because you're not actively stimulating them. You're not actively using it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, not permanently, it just goes to sleep. This is why you need to take this thing and you need to wake up your subconscious. Start writing. People don't like to write now, right? Because they use these now. We use these now, right? Nobody, everybody just punches in like that. Okay, no, you got to use these. It's not necessarily a conspiracy, but they're taking these away from children. They're teaching them to type. Guess what that does to the subconscious? It makes them easily programmable, like a machine. Why? Because now they cannot go against the programming with a pen. Now they believe one way. Systematically, it works. For a system, it works. For an individual, it doesn't work. So what happens? They lose their individuality. Why? Because, well, everybody's coming to agreement on this, and it's all within the system of things. But what did Jesus Christ tell you? He said, I will be with you until the end of the world. Okay, the world is not ending. We're ending. The world is not ending. But there will always be these systems of things, systems of physical things. And what happens? Well, they evolve like humans evolve. We evolve. The systems evolve. The systems change. The ages change. We're in a new age, a relatively new age. An age is over 2,100 years. And we just got into the new age. And we see evidence of it all over the place. The truth is coming out here. The truth is coming out. All these truths are coming out. They're all being exposed. Why? Because the system can't hold on to these things. They're outdated. Because humans have evolved. Technology's evolved, so humans evolved. We didn't have access to YouTube and these digital things. But now we see 5-year-old geniuses all over the place. Little kids. I teach 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds are amazing. Some of these grandmothers, one grandmother told me, nobody teaches 3-year-olds. You're the only one. And I said, well, that's because they don't know how to teach. I was being arrogant. But it's true. If you can't relate to a 3-year-old and you're an adult, something's wrong. Okay? Or you don't have the patience. One of the two. Or you don't have an understanding of how a human being works. But 3-year-olds are amazing people. And after a series of 3-year-olds, I started teaching everybody like a 3-year-old. Guess what happened? They all get it like this. They get it like that. So what's holding everybody back? It's the societal hypnosis that's holding you back. Because it goes into your subconscious and holds you hostage. Okay, so the visual I use with my clients is this, because this looks kind of, right, scary. It's extreme. But your subconscious is doing this. It's not a demon. It's your subconscious. And fear. And doubt. All the negative emotions are rooted in fear. Worry is the first one. When you start to worry, that's the beginning. Then it goes down. Irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, hate, boredom, envy, grief, guilt, shame, and fear at the bottom. And what does this do? It keeps you from your goals. It keeps you from money. It keeps you from relationships. It keeps you from people. It keeps you from everything. What's the solution? Well, there's medicine, right? There's medicine, there's whatever, all these things. And a lot of people a record number of people are on antidepressants. Record number of people in America. In America. Record number of people. Oh, that's the solution. Here, there you go. There you go. Oh, you're not feeling good? Oh, you feel kind of down? Okay, here you go. Here's how that evil happens. Okay, so let's say you're on here, and let's say you're scrolling, and let's say you start to watch fearful things or things that make you angry. Now, your subconscious is being conditioned into anger. Okay? It's being conditioned into triggers. Okay? So the subconscious looks for verification. Your subconscious looks for pathways on how to get you to frustration, how to get you to anger, how to get you to that point, to get to the trigger. And then you get triggered and triggered and triggered. Okay, now it's in repetition. Now the subconscious goes, okay, wash, rinse, repeat. Here we go. Triggers. And now out here in the physical world, because you have a reticular activating system in your brainstem, which filters out what you're not focused on and filters in or draws in or shows you, makes it stick out what you're focused on, now you start seeing all these things that trigger you. When you go online, you see it, and now in real life, you see it. And what do you think? Oh man, this world is terrible. This world is really screwed up, right? And everything starts to trigger you. And then you go to therapy, okay? And then there's wash, rinse, repeat over there. Okay, because you go into a program and you make progress. Okay, but then it's 1 day a week. And then you have 6 more days to snap back into your subconscious programming. And slowly it goes back. It doesn't go back right away. It goes back slowly, right? Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then you go back to therapy that day after 6 days. And then it goes back slowly, slowly, and then it goes back again. You see? And that in itself becomes a wash, rinse, repeat cycle. So I normally work with professionals, and these people have goals. These people write down what they want to do. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization is important to them. They go on retreats. They do things like that. And the reason I sit here is so you understand, so you get it, so the light bulb goes on, and you go, oh, yeah, I can help myself. Oh, I can do a lot of, like, okay, not everything. I'm not making medical claims. I'm just saying, do the research. Look it up. It's a real thing. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Why? Because of perception. Perception is 9/10 of the law. Universal law. 9/10. The majority. But what happens is we join with the system. We join with the system. We become one with the system. We start to believe in the system. Why? Well, the system's feeding us. Oh, the system's doing this for us. The system gave me my diploma and my degree, and now I have money to take vacations. So the system becomes your God. You cannot serve God and mammon, right? So mammon only becomes mammon. We're talking physical world. When you put your trust in it, when you put your faith in it. When you seek the kingdom first, okay, go in here, okay, close your distractors, okay, and sit in the kingdom. Because when you seek the kingdom first, all else shall be added unto you. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it works. This is what Jesus was talking about. But we get distracted by the politics. We get distracted by the house. We get distracted by the car, by the job, by the degree, by the profession, by the relationship, by the children. None of which are evil or bad. But How do you spend your time? So you spend time, right? Because you don't get it back. You spend time. You pay attention. What are you paying for? What are you paying with? You're paying with your life. What are you paying for? You're paying for the result that happens when you focus on something, because whatever you pay attention to intensifies, it grows. So are you focused on money? Okay, you're going to make money. Money will come. You're focused on the, I don't know, stuffed animal collection? Okay, it starts to grow, right? Okay. You start to focus on, okay. All right, everybody wave goodbye to Ahmad. Goodbye, Ahmad. Thank you for joining us. Okay. But whatever it is you focus on begins to grow. You're paying attention. And what you pay attention to, you will receive. And what we're seeing now with the kids, with the children that are creating riots and creating havoc. They see the system for what it is. They see the emperor walking around in his underwear. And they're being expressive about it. But the emperor is not evil. The system is not evil. It's how you use it. Everything is about how you use it. Yes, we need order in society. We need order. There is an order of things in the universe. The universe is orderly. Nothing is chaotic in the universe. Everything has an order. Everything is intelligent in the universe. But the esoteric meanings, the esoteric knowledge, the inner meanings of things are important to understand, because then you can have anything. You can do anything. You can have, do, or be anything. Now, if you start too late in life, maybe it's a stretch. Okay? So you may have to adjust what is attainable for you at your age. If you're older, if you're younger, no problem. You have the rest of your life. Go ahead. Start taking the steps. Action is not always necessary in the physical world. Not always. Sometimes it's mental energy. Okay? It's applied focus. That's the part people miss. Applied focus. Well, with a distraction like this, how do you apply focus? You see? So there's certain things that work against you. Is this evil? No, it's not evil. Is this a blessing? For me, it's a blessing. I make tons of money on here. Always have, ever since it came out. But you have to look at it like, oh, damn, I could make a lot of money with that. Or I could, watch a lot of comedy with that. Okay? So what's important to you? Maybe you need some comedy. Maybe you need to cheer up. Okay, there you go. There's your blessing. But it's how you use it. It's how you apply it. But when you apply it according to universal law, according to ask, believe, receive, according to affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization, it has to happen. And the how is always God's job, or higher self, or universe, or source, or Allah, or Jesus Christ. However you believe. I'm not here to tell you how to believe. But the power is in you. You're a human being. If you put my name into a browser, any AI, any whatever, and put teaching method after it, you'll get a laundry list of stuff on my method. If you put businesses on you'll see my companies. if you put work history, you'll see what I've done. But it didn't start to happen in flow state. Okay, when things happen in flow state, they're very easily achievable. It's like, okay, just do, right? And you see, you know, our American president is like, he just keeps going. There's a method to it. There's a method to that. And this is why if you would take all the money in the world and distribute it equally amongst everyone in the world, in a couple of years, it would be back up with the 1%. Because it's mindset. It's mindset. It's the way you think about things. It's the way you think about wealth. So if you're only thinking the physical world way of wealth, okay, spending money, don't spend money, circulate money. Okay, look at money like a boomerang. Okay, I'm going to throw it over there. It's going to come back over here. It's going to go around and it's going to come back. Circulate money. It will happen as you believe and you're thinking. Education does this to you. It does this. Education does not start here and go like this. It starts here. And it goes like this and says, okay, this here, this is who you are. This is the nurse. This is the doctor. This is the whatever. Okay? This is your lane. And people stay in their lane their whole career. Right? And they have amazing careers and they make money and they all kinds of things. But they're living from the system of things. And then they wonder why the relationship falls apart. Then they wonder why this other aspect of their life is no good. And then there's an imbalance. You know, the kids are flying off the handle, but the career is good. But when you start from here, that's what Jesus said, right? Seek first the kingdom inside. Seek first the kingdom. Everything comes. Everything comes. All of the histories for all of my companies are online. The things that we did are online. Facebook, Instagram, it's all there. I'm not Superman. Not at all. Not at all. I fail every week. Every week I fail. Right? Failure is part of success. And you never succeed. Success is it's a mirage. There is no ladder of success. That's what they construct in your mind to get you to climb the ladder, to get you to work for the corporation, to get you to what's really important? The people you love and the things you love, and focus on that. Because when you focus on that, everything comes together. When you focus on the system, when you put your faith in the system, now you have put your faith in mammon. And you cannot serve God and mammon. But when you're serving God, you're serving you. Because God lives in here, God lives in you. Okay? We will see you guys tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, we're going to talk about your deal right now. We're going to talk about that right now. Okay, we'll see you guys, and aloha and lots